And we're back live right here on the playoff edition. First ever playoff edition right here on the NFL DraftCast. You've been rolling with us all year, 18 weeks of lineups back and forth. And now we get to have fun with all 6 games. And the playoff is a completely different atmosphere. Completely different atmosphere. You know what else is a different atmosphere? WinDailySports.com. It's different than any other site that you've ever been on. So you got to make sure that WinDailySports.com, you get your 7 days free premium right now. Okay, but also with all the partners that we have and the membership options that we have, I can tell you right now, you're not going to get those kind of options anywhere else. So make sure you get involved, like this show, subscribe to this channel, and get over at WinDailySports.com and make sure you click. Listen, it's very easy. Click on partners. Tons of options right there, but also our projection models and our prop models that we're going to get into tonight. But boys, we had 6 games. We've had a ton of NFL news. Big time college news that the almighty Nick Saban retires, which I kind of saw that coming because came out that he was getting annoyed with the NIL and all the different programs are coming out. He's an old school dude, right? So I didn't see Pete Carroll coming. I still don't know what to take from that. I want to get your guys' opinion on that before we get into that because they didn't say he's gone. They're elevating him to a different role in the organization, but then he comes out and says, "Yo, I'm not tired. I got tons of energy, man. I'm ready to go." So I'm very curious to see what happens there. But Jay, listen, man, talking about strategy, this is playoffs. To me, you throw everything out the window. This is a brand new, everybody 0-0. How you attacking when you look at the playoff atmosphere?
Couple things, man. Remember, we're in January, so weather is going to play a factor in some of these games. We don't have to worry about Houston, Cleveland. They're playing in a dome, but Kansas City is going to be like negative 0, 3, 4, 5, 6, somewhere in that range. I don't see any wind as of right now, but there's concern it's going to be super cold. And Tua and the Dolphins, I don't know if you want to take prior records into account, but they don't play too well in the cold. So that's one thing. And Miami's banged up. So it's cold, but it's not windy as of yet. There might be some light snow. We got to check in on the weather. Now, Buffalo, on the other hand, it's going to be cold. Like 20 degrees. Wind chill probably brings it to like 5 to 10 degrees. 25-mile-an-hour sustained winds. 52-mile-an-hour gust. I put it in my article at WinDailySports.com. Maybe some light snow for a cherry on top. Now, I bet Stephon Diggs and George Pickens numbers when they came out, they were way too low. I didn't know this weather was coming. The number held. I might hedge if it gets a little crazy and a little hectic at a certain time, maybe Friday or Saturday. I'll see how that goes. But definitely look at the weather. Those are 2 games that, have concern around them. The other games, you have, a game in the Dome in Dallas, don't worry about it. A game in the Dome in the Lions, don't worry about it. A game in Tampa, don't worry about it. So it's really just a Buffalo game and Kansas City game. So those 2 games, factor in, see what's going on. Blowout potential in Buffalo. I don't think anybody's going to play any Steelers. Maybe get different. Najee Harris, Jalen Warren. The run game, maybe there's an upset there, but I don't see it happening. Buffalo's favored by 10. So factor in Vegas, factor in the weather. And then my advice, we're going to do, just to help everybody out, we're going to do a Saturday to Monday slate, get involved in all 6 games when we draft our teams and do our DraftCast, but really focusing on what slate you feel best about. If it's just a Saturday only or just a Saturday, Sunday, or it's a Sunday, I would suggest putting all your, your energy, your research, your thoughts, your time, your money, really lock in like 70, 80, 90% of that into one slate. If you want to dabble in some showdowns, you want to dabble in a Saturday to Monday slate, go right ahead. But really lock into one slate, lock it down, focus in, and then build it like a showdown lineup a little bit where, look, there's going to be a lot of overlap in a Saturday only 2-game slate. There's going to be quite a few overlap in the Saturday, Sunday because nobody's going to be playing Steelers. So try to get different in spots. Try to overstack a game, understack a game, spread it out, double tight end, whatever works. Just get a little bit different at a running back spot. A lot of things will shake out. It's the playoffs. There'll be gadget plays. There'll be guys trying to give guys touchdowns. There could be anything that goes down. So play it different, play it smart, lock into one, and then also obviously check the weather.
Check The weather. That's always going to be important. Man, that's called. Listen, Kansas City already had issues catching a ball, and now they got to catch, the ball that's going to look like a brick and feel like a brick, right? So it's amazing, man. Just, it's very unpredictable, Dave. It's always unpredictable. And Jason talked about treating it like a showdown lineup. So my question to you is because, like I say, you throw all stats out the window, but if you treat it like a showdown lineup, what are you going by? Are you going more towards what the matchups are? Or are you saying, you know what? Everybody's 0-0. I don't care if the number one defense in the NFL is playing right now. If I'm playing up against them, I don't know if they're still number one because it's the playoffs now. Because we're going through that in Philadelphia. We don't know what team the Eagles are going to show up as. So how do you kind of prepare for these lineups?
Yeah, Tone, good question. Yeah, looking at a wide slate like a 6-gamer, if you go Saturday, Monday, I will tend to game stack 1 or 2 games that I really like. I'll look at Vegas with the over-unders. I'll try and and we've already seen it with the Rams, Lions, and Jay mentioned the Browns with the Texans playing indoors. And the Eagles, Bucks have a decent total too. So a few of those games there, I'll look to game stack. I'll look to run back. I'll probably play somewhere in the 4 to 5 player range and then fill in ones here and there. Otherwise, I tend to think that's a good area to kind of play these, long playoff slates. But the other point you made about how do I attack it? I do look at matchups, and where I mean matchups, and this is probably what you mean. Like you said, if you're the number one defense, that's schedule dependent sometimes, right? I'm going to look at DVOA a little bit, but I'm going to look at matchups of cornerbacks versus receivers. I'm going to look at how number twos fare against certain defenses and how defenses play against, different offenses. I'm going to try and dial that in because I've seen it in the past. I've seen the Michael Gallups win these, these takedowns. I've seen the number 2s, the number 3s really come up big in certain situations. And if you have the right data, if you're following the right places, you'll get it. So definitely got to analyze the matchups. And with only 6 games, you can do that. It's not like 12 or 13 or 14. You can really get in there and start to look at defensive tendencies.
Defensive tendencies. I like that. It's so true, man. Defensive tendencies. And I'll tell you what, all the teams run defensive right now because nobody knows whose job is safe. Nobody knows who's going where. But that's okay because we're not drafting head coaches. We're drafting players. And I'll tell you what, I'm very curious to see a bunch of things, how they break out, right? How are they going to break? I'm very interested in this Cleveland-Houston game. I want to. Will Houston continue to excel? Will Cleveland continue to be that top dog defense? Right? So many different things. Is KC going to show up? Are they going to be the same team? Right? Are they going to be the same team? Does Miami have it? Who knows? Is weather that bad in Pittsburgh that bad that Buffalo is going to run the doors off? I still think the Rams can sleep out a really good win against Detroit. I like the Rams this week. Dallas, I think, steamrolls over Green Bay, and then the Philly Tampa game. Again, they make us wait, Dave, till Monday night. They gruel us out all weekend, right? They make us wait, Dave. They make us wait.
The correct word, they extend your season, though. They extend the season an extra day or two. I don't know about that.
I find it funny, and I'm not going to say yet where I'm going, but Jordan Love ended with the second most touchdown passes in the NFL this year at 31. Dallas tends to struggle with pass defense. They're pretty good up front and can create the pressure. And if you saw, he's 18-1 touchdown ratio. 18-1 Jordan Love in the past 7 weeks. I wouldn't discredit Green Bay's chances just yet. We'll see. But to your point, there's a lot of really cool matchups, right? You got, and the stories are just so crazy. You got, Cleveland going to Houston where they traded for Deshaun Watson. You got Matt Stafford going back to Detroit. What a great matchup. Obviously,
Tyreek going to KC. You got that.
Yes, and then you have Green Bay and Dallas with Mike McCarthy. Could Green Bay and Mike McCarthy's coaching reign in Dallas? So that's why I kind of get into that. But let's answer this one. Is Philly? No. Even though I will tell you, I might want him going. I don't think he's going.
He's going already. I'm telling you right now, he's going already.
Yeah,
he's going already.
So? Yeah.
Yes. The smoke's already out. It came out today. The smoke's already out. There's already a leak saying that if he loses, his job's in question. His job's already in question, man. I'm telling you right now, it's gone. They are not happy. This is not the way it happened, and there's a struggle going on. He's already gone. So
good coaches out there too. Let's talk about good coaches and the coaching carousel that we're seeing now. Jay, where's Belichick going to go?
oh,
I don't know, man. I think LA makes the most sense for him. I think him and Harbaugh are fighting for that Chargers job. You got Herbert, you got the quarterback, you got some weapons around it. It's sunny, it's LA. Belichick coming from the cold. He's getting a little bit older. Why not go to LA? So I think either Belichick or Harbaugh, number one spot for them would be LA. That's my thoughts on those two coaches. I think Vrabel, he's a guy that, I would want as a coach, but he's kind of old school, so you don't know what he's going to do. Defensive minded. Maybe he goes back to New England, yeah. So that kind of makes sense. So if Belichick's out, Vrabel probably goes to New England. Not really sure about Carroll. Who knows? Nick Saban might already have a job linked up in the NFL, all because he's saying he's coming out of the NCAA. Kind of shocking, but maybe had a couple talks already. That guy, if he wants to go somewhere, he's probably going to get a job wherever he goes to. So I don't know. I'm not really focusing too locked in on his coaches. They're going to make the decisions. My guess is as good as yours, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, Tony, what do you think about Belichick? Because there's also rumors East Coast.
I think he stays in New England.
Yeah.
I think he stays in New England because, I go by reports, man. Like, that's the way I look at things. I try to read between the lines. And I think the whole point of the split was because he has full control. And I don't think they want him to have full control anymore. And it came out that all of a sudden now Bill says he's willing to take less control wherever he goes. He's staying, man. I'm telling you right now, he's staying. He's not going anywhere. He will stay in New England, man. I stay in New England until the end of the time. And he's not going anywhere.
The one, and I like the LA theory, I like the New England theory, and I'll add the third, maybe Washington, just because he graduated from the Naval Academy, very close thereby, jumping over to go to Annapolis, could have some say in there to bring, his buddy that got fired by the Raiders, Josh McDaniel back in. So we'll see. Definitely a lot of things in play here, but Black Monday is just as fun as playoffs, but playoffs are here, so I'm ready to rock.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Let's get to the pickings, man. No pun intended.
All right, let me bring up the screen here.
Who's going first this week, man? Is that
Ladder
Man over here with the big win again last week?
Yeah, he's in. He definitely got the dub last week. 3 players over 30 points. Jason hit.
That he stole from me, by the way. But
CD Lamb and Amon-Ra. Great week in the Tyrod and Slate Connection was really good as well. So
Tyrod ladder, man. The Tyrod ladder I had over his 220, and then I had over 250 and then over 275. He had like 240 at half. And this dude made me sweat those last 30 yards. Like he got hurt for a second, and then the Giants just, went away and
for a second.
That
was in the first half.
I'm saying, he got hurt in the first half. That got me scared. And then, he came back, and then this happened and that happened. I'm like, all right, now they want to get Shepard still the ball. I'm like, all right, maybe I have a chance. It was game over, pretty much with the third. I just needed 10 more yards, and they have a penalty call, but it was pretty clear, pretty easy. It went for 296. I didn't bet the 300, so I got a nice juice there. Hit the Slayton, hit a ladder, Evan Ingram. Mike Evans was a dud for me. Yeah. And he could have had it on the first play. Literally the first drive, Evans, first catch, Evans, second catch. And Evans wide open for 50, 60 yards, probably running in for a touchdown, cleared everything. And Baker does Baker things and doesn't hit him.
Come on.
And then on top of that, you got the Shark situation. Dude scored a touchdown. He fumbled out the end zone. And because of that, then Tampa's up 6-0. It would have been 7-6. Tampa would have had to score. So it kind of ruined the whole flow of the game. Same thing with Stephon Diggs, man. I had Diggs, ladder props on whatever it was Monday night or Sunday night. He cleared his regular prop by half. Only needed 34 yards. He's grooving. And then Hardy returns that for a touchdown. And then they run the clock out. And Diggs going to get another one. Hit 3/4 of the ladder, but the big one's up top. I missed by 2 yards and 12 yards. So that kind of sucked. But
what game did you watch? Hardy tied it. They had to drive down the field to – So
no, I'm saying, but prior to that, that whole drive could have been a Diggs drive, So that was a Diggs The next one, he caught like a pass or two, and then they scored however they scored. I don't remember exactly. And then the game was over. Then they never threw the ball again.
It was Dawson
Miami, Miami needed to force OT or whatever, but they didn't get another look to him. So kind of sucked, but profitable week. I got some props up too. Let me ask you a question, before we get into this. I did bet Stephon Diggs again, and I did bet George Pickens. The lines are too low when they came out. Other books adjusted back down. Now with the weather, 25-mile-an-hour sustained wind. Stephon Diggs at 60 yards, Pickens at 40 yards. Should I hedge out on this thing if I really see the weather stay on that side, 25-mile-an-hour winds, or is it just quick tosses to Diggs, quick tosses? Pickens not that guy. But it's 40 yards, so it's like, do you really worry? Do you not worry? Do you hedge out and just say, I don't want to deal with this wind? Because I can hedge out middle maybe for a yard or two, but this weather is kind of concerning now. I didn't know it prior to making those bets.
I would say hedge out on Pickens, stick in with Diggs. Josh Allen's arm is a cannon. It's going to go through the wind. I'm not as concerned. And Diggs, like you said, will catch some bubble screens and will still be effective. Yeah. Like Pickens is a straight down the field receiver. Deontay Johnson takes all the little stuff. Can Rudolph get it outside the hashes in that wind? I'm not sure. So I might hedge on Pickens, but I still feel okay with Diggs. I really do.
Okay, yeah, I'm probably going to ride it out. Maybe one, he's going one way. He's got 25-mile-an-hour winds behind him, one toss to Pickens. Yeah. So
true.
We'll see what happens, man. If it gets worse and it's like 30 to 40.
Is it sideways?
Yeah, if it's sideways, then I'm fucked. Then it's game over for everybody, but we'll see what happens there. I'll go number 2 here. We have a pretty big slate, so I'm not too worried about getting sniped too much here. So I'll go number 2. I don't know who finished elsewhere, but I'll go 2 on this one.
I'm second, so I will stay at 3. Yeah, I like it.
I'll just stay where I'm at. I'm good.
You got to be 1 now.
Whatever.
Unless we're giving the audience a pick.
I'll go 1. It don't matter.
No, let's do no audience here because it's only 6 games, 3 teams. It'd be too much to mess around with here. So, Tone, you're up first.
Wait a minute. Did Stephen A call Jason Whitlock a bitch and a fat piece of shit?
Yeah, so
that's bastard, I think.
Yes.
I didn't see the whole thing, but
wow.
I'll give you the short of it. Jason Whitlock eviscerated him the other day, and pretty much.
Is that what happened? Because I was wondering.
Yeah. So
the funniest thing about Jason Whitlock, though, before you go, because I didn't hear it, Tone, was like a week and a half ago, he posted like a screenshot of his computer and saying, I don't know why ESPN or whatever site he was on is allowing all these advertisers on there. And it's like a big porn ad, and he didn't realize that like you get targeted with the shit that you see. So he put himself on blast for like obviously watching porn, and he had no idea. He posted it up on Twitter, and everyone was like, "Dude, do you not know how advertising works?"
Oh my god, that's hilarious!
I don't know if this had anything to do with it, but then I saw this today. I didn't get to see it, but I saw him. The intro saying he said to his priest and this person he's gonna, crucify this dude, and he definitely called him a fat bastard like prior to the rant that now Dave's gonna explain to us.
Wow.
The rant was a little off, but I mean, he pretty much called Stephen A. Smith a puppet, called him a racist too, which I thought was really funny because I feel like Whitlock likes to take certain angles sometimes, so it's like an odd way for him to attack. But then he explained that Stephen A. knows nothing about sports. That's really where his root argument was, and that ESPN only puts non-controversial people, like people that will meet their agenda. And Stephen A., he'll just create and stir and run away, but really not know anything. And he just was beating him up. I don't know if it had something to do with the national championship game, him hanging out with Jordan and stuff, but it was like right after that.
I'm just surprised he came. I mean, I know it was on his own show, but still, I mean, I'm surprised ESPN doesn't say nothing about that. You know what I mean? Like
he said he asked ESPN if he can do it. He asked his priest or some shit like that if he can do it. He asked his family if he could do it. It's all theatrics, though, man. I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
He likes to stir the pot. Yeah, it is what it is.
Likes to stir the pot.
I've met him in person a handful of times as he was a reporter in Inquirer here in Philadelphia before he got up there. And, he's all right. But to me, I just can't listen. I just can't. It's unwatchable. But that's
I'm with you on that.
That's my opinion. But with that, Tony, you want to lead it off?
Sure, man. Absolutely. Not a problem. I'm going quarterback right off the bat. Don't care what people think. I'm going Matt Stafford. I love the matchup. I love the price. I'm not paying up. I'm not paying high. I'm going Stafford, going home. Listen, this is his spot, man. They said he couldn't play anymore. He's had a hell of a year. Still think Hurts should have made the Pro Bowl instead of him. That's another topic for another day. But still, very, very, very good comeback year this year for Stafford. I'm rolling with him, and I think he's going to be a very, very valuable piece in the DFS lineup this weekend.
Great pick.
Yeah, I like that pick. This Saturday to Monday slate is actually like semi-stacked. Like there's a lot of different ways you can go about building. I'm gonna go running back here. I think that's one of like the lighter spots, and I will go with one of Tony's favorite guys, Rachaad White. I think they're gonna be able to score on Philly. I'm not so confident in Baker, so I think they try to just get White involved any way, any shape, or any form. Gets in the end zone at 6,900, fair price on him. So I'll go Rachaad White, just pure volume play here, and hopefully gets into the end zone.
Yeah, good pick. I like it. The Eagles used to have a good rushing defense, not anymore. So I do think they'll gain yards on the ground. Speaking of ground, with the wind forecast, even though I do think Allen will get the ball going a little bit, I do think it's going to be a James Cook game. So I'm going to start with him. I think Buffalo, at times, they did in the Miami game, decides to commit to the run. They did it in the Dallas game. When they do that, they can become really effective. And then to top that off, got to get a receiver. Like you said, Jace, there's so many good ones out there. This is a semi like fully stacked slate. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go Puka. I know that's probably where Tony wanted to go, but
It was.
I just love this guy, and I still think you can run him out there without Stafford. Would I love to? If we were drafting Dunk, absolutely. That stack, like you said, 6,500 is great for a quarterback. But I think 7,200 is great for a receiver of his nature.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I believe it's my turn. I'm gonna go with Amon-Ra. It's gonna be a high-scoring affair. Rams and Detroit. I like this game a bunch. So I'll go Amon-Ra here, and hopefully Goff can get him the ball, and he hopefully doesn't choke. And even if he does, hopefully he throws some picks in order to make it happen. But give me Amon-Ra in the spot.
Absolutely. Good pick.
He did good last week, right?
He did.
Yes, sir.
Actually, it was him. I was
There's just so much volume. And then also, look, Laporta's not going to play either. So with Laporta out here too, or most likely out, doubtful, there should just be more touches for Amon-Ra on the spot.
Yep.
I like it.
All right, Tony.
All right. Well, since Dave took my my Puka play, that's okay. That's not a problem. Like we said, I think receiver is very plentiful, so to speak, this weekend. And I'm going to run Stafford probably naked now. So I'm going to flip the script and go with my other favorite comment. Jimmy alluded to it in the comments, but I'm going to go Amari Cooper. I really like him in this matchup. Listen, I'm not worried about the heel. Listen, most of that was rest. There was no potential for him to even play in week 18 because of the nature of, they've already locked it up. It didn't matter. So I think that this connection with Flacco has just showed that team is lost with any other quarterback. And, now Joe's a veteran and listen, the 200-yard games have just been amazing. And then I'm going to go against our boys, man. Listen, this Eagles team is a complete mess. It's in complete dysfunction. I have no idea what's going on in the secondary. And even though Slay should be back, or if he's back, he's not going to lock anybody down. But, he does always hold the top receivers. But it's never the top receivers that kill his Eagles. It's always the second and the third guy. And Chris Godwin is a matchup nightmare for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think he is going to destroy that secondary in the middle of the field. So I'm going to go Chris Godwin and Cooper as my two receivers.
Tony, I was torn between Nakua and Cooper.
That's the funny thing. I had Puka in there, but I was like, if he's going, I'm gonna run him naked and I'm gonna go Cooper.
Can you see where I was going? It's like, I know you'll take Puka. Yep. So maybe I'm going to roll the dice and Cooper. That's why I hesitate. I was like, I'll take a chance. But Cooper put up 56 on the Texans last. Now, you're not going to replicate that, but
no,
it's still going to be a great matchup. Yep.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Love it. All right, Jay.
Yeah, factoring in the cold weather here, not to say that Mahomes can't play in the cold, but give me Pacheco. He's actually getting targets now. He's getting targets now as well. Miami is so banged up in this spot, offensively, defensively. I think Casey kind of got a gift here. Not to say that Miami can't pull off this win, but I think we see a lot of Pacheco. 6.4, fairly priced. All the volume is going to him. There's no CEH really going to take anything away. So as long as he stays healthy through this game, he will stay on the field, score a touchdown or two, and now he's catching passes. So I'll enjoy watching him run. 6.4. He's going to be heavily owned, I feel like, especially like in the Saturday-only slate. But, spreading out to Monday, he's in a really good spot here. So I'll go Pacheco.
All right. I like it. So I'll breathe a little sigh of relief here. I'm going to take my tight end here and David Njoku. I just
Dave.
I should have took it first, man.
That's why it's in my sigh of relief. I thought Jay might go there. This guy.
He's in my line. I'm sitting right here. Yeah, I was going to take him. I just didn't know.
I'll take him out.
Yeah. 24 points average past 4 games, like you guys know. With Flacco back there, it's Cooper, it's Njoku, and this passing game is electric. So I like him. That gives me a little flexibility where I decide to go QB later. Not sure yet, but I'm not going to go there now. And I'm actually going to dial up one other one here. And I think, they say he's questionable, but I like what the Steelers have done with this guy. I'm going to go Najee Harris as my other running back.
Okay.
Buffalo's kind of one weakness is their rush defense. And again, in that game, the 2 running backs and project that maybe we get some high carries. Najee's 26, 27 carries past 2 weeks.
No, that's a good call. Definitely.
And he scored touchdowns.
I'm still pissed off about Najee the other day, man. I had him for plus 1,700, 50 yards first half, 50 yards second half. He finished the first half of 48, and then he blew through the 50 in the second half. So I just missed the 1,700 and I had $100 on it by 2 yards in the first half.
Oh.
And then the salt on the wound, I had Najee and Warren to combine for 150. And early they ran anytime Warren or Harris run outside, they go for losses. Like it happened in the first half a couple of times, which that's the reason why I lost the Harris one. But they're at 150. I was live on Sirius. There's like 2 minutes left in the game. It's like 3rd and whatever at the goal line, like 3rd and 3. They run it. Najee's in the back. They run like a whatever reverse kind of or a sweep to Warren sliding in, and they fake the ball to Harris, and Warren goes -5. They went from 150 back to 145, and I lose that bet. Like, are you kidding me, man? Like, could have been like a huge day nailing both those bets, but yeah, I got burned by Harris. He's getting a ton of volume. It looks good. It's sneaky. I think it's a sneaky play for, the Sunday slate or the Saturday Sunday slate. I don't think a lot of people are going to be going to anybody on Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And he's definitely the safest guy on Pittsburgh. So I do like that call a bunch. Interesting way to build here. I'm going to go with one of my favorite value plays on the board, and I'll go Jameson Williams. 3.5 at the wide receiver spot. His targets are creeping up. He's getting more, big throws here. If Goff can hit him, playoff, back and forth with the Rams, I think Jameson could be big in this game. Amon-Ra's going to get the volume, but Jameson can score a touchdown at 3,500. Not too many other wide receivers at that price tag. And I need some value here to stack up in other spots. So Jameson, big play guy, GPP guy, take shots on guys like that because there's not too many guys, like I said. Maybe like, I'm not going to mention it right now. There's a couple other guys in that range. I think he's got the most upside. So that's why I'm going to roll with Jameson Williams at 3,500.
Yep, and you're one big play away, and he could do it. So I like that chance down there. All right, Tony, to you.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm gonna go here with a little value. I think. I mean, value for me because under $5,000. He's guy's been a target monster the last 2 weeks, and he didn't do much with the targets last week. But when you're getting 16 targets in 2 weeks on an offense that's rolling, on a team that's going to zero in on that number one target in CD Lamb eventually, I like Brandon Cooks, man. I think Brandon Cooks is going to make a name for himself in these playoffs. He's exactly what you need in the playoffs. He's a very good route runner. He doesn't mind going across the middle. And again, when you're playing Green Bay, they have fast linebackers. They like to bring them linebackers up a lot. So I think that Brandon Cooks will have a really good game based on volume. And I'm going to go Buffalo. I'm going to go Stephon Diggs, man. Like at the end of the day, in the playoffs, the big players play big games. It's just who they are, man. And Pittsburgh has shown me nothing to be able to cover these top receivers. So I'm going to go Stephon Diggs with a big day this week.
All right. I like it. And, you have seen they've started to feed them. So,
yep.
Could that be a sign this week? All right, Jay.
I'm going to go a little bit off the board right here. And I'm going to go, I thought Tony was going to just do it. So I'm going to do it right now. I don't have as much faith in the Pittsburgh offense. I'm going to go with the Buffalo defense. Seeing that weather report, 25-mile-an-hour winds, I'm pretty much going to fade this game. I don't dislike Josh Allen or James Cook or Stephon Diggs, but on the Pittsburgh side of things, they're going to bring pressure to Mason Rudolph. This is a nightmare for Rudolph. Going into Buffalo with 25-mile-an-hour winds, freezing cold, I think he's going to have a bunch of trouble here. And I think, Buffalo finds a way to get to this kid and bring a lot of pressure. So I think they're going to be the top defense on the board. Dallas is great. Cleveland is great, but they're going against offenses that are at least good. I think Pittsburgh's offense is going to really struggle in this one. So I'll pay up a little bit. I know there's some cheap guys out there, on a defensive side of things, but in this spot, just to beat you two guys, I'm going to go Buffalo here. But I'd be willing to take shots on KC, willing to take shots on even the Rams trying to, get to Jared Goff, or even the Steelers on the opposite side of this win game. But I'm going to pay up and be a little different, 3,500.
All right. Well, you said it, so I'll just do it. I'm taking the Chiefs. They're one of my favorite defenses this week at 2,900 in that weather. We just saw Dolphins get shut out by Buffalo in the second half. I only scored 14 for the entire game, and one was, they were getting gifted turnovers left and right too. So I really have concerns about the Dolphins offense. And then I'm going to go with the one guy that just, to me, has really shined lately. I mean, he didn't get the touchdowns last week, but still got over 100 yards. And we talked about the passing offense earlier. I mean, he's had 4 straight games of 17 or more. Jaden Reed, 57, yeah, it's probably right where he needs to be, but I really like this rookie. I like the Packers passing offense. You just don't know what you're going to get out of anyone else. He's been consistent. I'll take Reed.
Well, that's a good call there, too. I'm going to flip it around here. I know this is not a good matchup for this guy, but the volume is going to hopefully get him through it. He had a big game against Baltimore, and I respect that defense. So give me the volume of Kyren Williams, or Kyren Williams, however you want to, pronounce it. Rush defense for Detroit, solid, but he's catching passes. He's heavily involved in the offense, and touchdowns are going to be paramount, especially with some lower scoring games. So I'm going to stack up the 3 running backs here and hopefully get that value out of Kyren at 7,300.
All right. I like it.
I should have took my running back. I held off, man. I was like, yo, these dudes got 4. Nobody's rolling 3 running backs, so I'll be safe. Boom. He takes them right off the board from me. Unbelievable. That's all right. No big deal. We pivot. That's fine. Listen, I'm going to go again, stick to the Buffalo game. I'm with Dave. I trust Josh Allen's arm more than anybody in the NFL. And what I trust his arm with is those little dinks and dunks and those little, 5-yard outs. So give me some Dalton Kincaid, who's really become a volume whore the last 2 weeks. Again, I'm going strictly by target volume here. And I think in this game, even if they do get up and they kind of collapse the playbook a little bit, I think that's going to speak very well for Dalton Kincaid. So give me him. And then I'll take my first running back, man. Dave took Najee Harris, I'm a Jaylen Warren guy. I love Warren all year. I look at the fact that Buffalo can be beat on the edges, and a lot of Jaylen Warren's long runs are sweeps to the edges or when he cuts outside. So I think he could have the ability to break a couple. Whether he scores or not remains to be seen, but I think his yards per carry will be good enough at 5,100 for a running back.
All right. I like it. I do. It's like, to me, it's a coin flip in that backfield. They get even amount of carries. He gets a couple more catches, but then the touchdown. So
it's like whoever gets the big play, you know what I mean? Like literally, or the touchdown, it's like one or the other. Maybe for this slate, hopefully Najee scores and maybe Warren gets a couple big plays and they base have almost the same point total. You know what I mean?
Yep. All right. I like it. Over to you, Jay.
All right. It's getting tougher out here. I need some value, and I'm pretty much oh, man. Just in case you go this way, I don't think you're going to go this way, Dave, but just in case, I'm building this stack out. I think you're going to go – I don't even know what you're going to go. Maybe you go Flacco, but I was originally going to go Flacco, and then I kind of pivoted late. Flacco's been awesome, man. Like every single game, he's putting up 20 points. I want to see him make a run in the playoffs. I respect the out of him. I hope he wins the comeback player of the year. But I'm going to go against my original thought, which is usually the wrong plan. But I'm going to go with Tony's most hated quarterback, Jared Goff, at home. So I got this stack. So it's because of the lineup build here. Am I in love with Goff? No. Do I probably end up with Flacco over Goff? Possibly. But the way, I'm treating this more like a best ball, to be honest with you. It's the way things fell to me. And for anybody out there who hasn't done playoff best ball, I did some research today and kind of off tangent here. I started building lineups on DraftKings. If you get in on it, hit me up on Discord. I'll kind of give you my strategy, but you really got to sell out more so than any DFS, more so than any other best ball. And you're trying to pick a team that you think are going to make the Super Bowl. And you got to get as many pieces so when you make it to the Super Bowl, you have a full roster. So you got to get like 4 or 5 players from that team through. And, in this situation, like I've been targeting a lot of Bills, a lot of Ravens, a lot of, Niners when you can. Certain teams are tougher to stack up because other people are trying to do similar strategies. And some people don't even know what they're doing. So they're just taking random players and like you're trying to build out your stack and then they randomly spike you. So you got to build out the strategy. You got to sell out. You're not trying to just win that week. So you're not trying to make the best lineup for week 1 of the playoffs. So if you stack up Baltimore, San Fran guys, you got to sell out for the Super Bowl, but then you also do have to make a lineup that can get past this first round. So there's a lot of strategy that goes into it. Make sure you're looking at the bracket. You don't want teams to be facing off in round 1. A lot of those people facing off and a lot of teams facing off in round 2. You want to be strategic and sell out for these matchups. Sell the story throughout. So similar in this lineup, like I was looking around, I ended up going Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams and Kieran Williams. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Let me go Goff over Flacco. It makes more sense for this lineup. So if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. But similar GPPs and best balls, go for the top. You're not going to make money if you're just like cashing 1 week and then missing out and then cashing and missing out. You can't be min cashing. You got to hit some big ones in between. So that's what this lineup here is trying to do here. So I'll go Goff, go against my gut, and let's see if Big Dave goes with Flacco here because he's got Njoku there. That was the pivot that screwed it all up because I had Njoku, and then when I didn't get Njoku, I'm like, screw it, I'll go Detroit.
Yeah, I don't know if I have to go Goff just yet. You guys got your quarterback, so I'll wait and leave the drama for the last pick in the draft. So right now, I'm going to put my eggs in a basket that's been pretty empty all year. But, they had a little time to figure this thing out. They both sat in week 18. And I just think the playoffs are a different animal, and they're going to wake up a little bit. Give me Travis Kelce in my flex spot.
Yeah, I thought about that. I thought about that too.
Yeah, if it's not now, then we really got to start questioning if this guy has completely lost it, right?
Yep.
But I think, there's a good – and now, like you said, might be a record low playoff game temperature in Kansas City with the wind chills -10. But can still, there's a chance we can still move that ball. So I'll take him. And then I'm gonna go Elijah Moore as well. I was looking for a cheap
He's going
receiver.
Flacco. He's going Flacco. that locks it in right there. I was looking at Elijah Moore too. I'm like, all right. I won't go that way.
For a cheap receiver. I looked. The Trey Palmer I was looking at. I was considering because third receiver, like Tony said, I really do value that insight. We do get burnt by other guys a lot. So when we go back and look at the Arizona game, Michael Wilson woke up in the second half. Come on. So
exactly.
Yeah. So I thought about and considered Trey Palmer, but I'll go Elijah. And they actually took him off the injury report last week and didn't play him. So it tells me he's healthy.
Okay. I'll continue building this game stack out. I got Goff with Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams. Just a note, and we should talk this out after we're done drafting our teams. But Khalif Raymond, questionable. Laporta, questionable. They might even both be on the doubtful side of things in my perspective. Tell them before your next pick, tell me what you're hearing out of, how banged up the Philly offense is with AJ, Devontae Smith, and, Jalen Hurts. I'd like to get an update from you. But with this pick, I will go Demarcus Robinson. And I'll be honest, I never played this guy the entire year. I didn't know he was even on the Rams until like 5 weeks ago. He emerged, and now he's getting targets. And if this game's a high-scoring game, I need a pass option here from LA. He's cheap, kind of the same thing with Jameson. Get a long one or get in the end zone, and I'm cool. The last 4 games that he played, the last 5 games he played, he got double digits. So there's some consistency there. 4 touchdowns out of 5 games. And then 1 game he didn't against the Giants, he went for 6 catches for 92 yards. So at 3,600, you don't need much, and you do have upside, and it matches my stack. So I'll go ahead and go Demarcus Robinson here. And telling Philly, how bad is Jalen? How bad is Devontae? How bad is AJ?
Man, well, listen, when number one, Jalen, nobody's going to know. And because we don't know how he can grip the football, right? He did come back into the game. That they did say
throwing in practice right now? Has he practiced this week? Is he throwing in practice?
Well, yeah, but they're keeping it hush hush, man. Like they just, that's the thing, because they have the Monday game, they could take it slow. And the biggest thing was, the X-ray showed there was no broke. Right, it was only dislocated, so it was able to be popped back in. But again, man, I think that's the biggest injury of them all. Devontae Smith, will be out there. I definitely think he'll be out there. Will he be limited? Remains to be seen, man. These ankles and knee injuries, we could practice all week. It could be light practice. The biggest thing is we're not going to know until the game. But both of these injuries to me, if they both play, and if you got to answer one or the other, I would say Devontae plays. And if AJ plays, listen, the one thing about AJ was
AJ is more hurt than you think.
Because it was the MCL, right? So you worry about that with the knee. So technically, Devontae's injury was worse, but it was but AJ's was to a worse part of the body, right? So when you look at it that perspective, you do look that he was walking around into the game. He didn't have crud. He didn't have a boot. He had a little sleeve on a knee. So I think AJ will be out there. I think they'll both be out there. We're not going to know how they're moving until they get out there because, look, you guys both know when you talk about an ankle or you talk about a knee, it's all about how can you cut. And practice is not how you play. And we already know that the Eagles don't practice the way they play anyway. So, we already know that's come out. So at the end of the day, it's going to be those first couple cuts to be able to see, number one, can they cut? Or is it going to linger? Is it something that's going to limit them? And on top of that, can Jalen squeeze the ball long enough to be able to get enough spiral on the ball to get that deep ball out? It might actually force them, Jay, to play the way they should, which is crazy. It just might force them. Might be.
You know what I'll say? You know what I'll say to give Dave some hope because he's already given up on them. They're at I have every reason. No, I know you do. I'm saying the only thing to give you some hope and some positive is that they're at rock bottom, and there's so much their failures, they're done. That will bring them together more than it'll break them down at this point. If they lose to Tampa, it's implosion. Everyone's getting fired. It's a big problem. But if they come together here and they win this one, that momentum where they're the underdog, they'll ride that kind of how they rode it earlier last year and in the playoffs, stuff like that. I think they get a little bit of that swag back coming in this way. Like if they came in like winning some of their last games and losing some of them, like, all right, they're still fine, and they come in and they get beat, it was kind of like a shock to them. Like they know how bad it's felt the last couple of weeks. So now they have some momentum from being on the bottom to like, dog themselves back out and dig out here. So that's the one positive that, if I was the coach, I'd kind of be, look what they're talking about. And, certain players, you got some captains in there, some leadership there. I'm sure they're talking that up there. So I wouldn't count them out. And they do get like, who wouldn't want to play Baker Mayfield in the first round? It's not Tom Brady going down there to face. It's Baker, and this team is not good. Like they just scored 9 points against Carolina. Like your defense should be able to hold down Baker and Mike Evans or Rashad White. So, but they've been so bad, but they should. And then if they do, then a little bit of that swag comes back. But if they're hurt going in, that's the worrisome part. But Tone, you need a running back and you need a defense. So you're going cheap on defense as you always do. And then you're going to go up and get a running back here. So let's hear it.
Yeah, you guys kind of really hurt me here with some of these picks. So I had to pivot a couple times and go a couple different ways. Again, like I say, I throw everything out the window when it comes to playoffs. And when I look at this guy, it was on my radar. I know his last couple weeks weren't to where he was before, but he still was in double-digit points. He still had the volume. So I'm going to go Devin Singletary at 5,700. I think, one thing's for sure that we already noted that Jim Schwartz is out there dialing up, those zero blitzes, those stunts, maybe being putting, the man right in the middle, which he did in the beginning of the year, that nobody predicted. So I think that's going to, force CJ Stroud to make some of those short plays, some of those dump offs. It's going to make Singletary very valuable. So I like Singletary, and I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins here, man. I know they lost Bradley Chubb. I'm still not sold that KC is going to come out and just all of a sudden be the KC of old. I think you see Patrick Mahomes, so at least 2 picks in this game. I think you'll. Yeah, I do.
You gotta bet that. If you're saying that, bet that. If you think he's gonna throw 2 picks, go bet that.
I do. I honestly, I could see him throwing 3 touchdowns, but 2 picks. I think it's going to be that kind of game. I think that Pat's going to force a ton in this game, which is going to lead to it's going to lead to deflections of the ball. It's going to lead to
Miami wins.
They could. You know me, I'm not a big game guy, but what I will say is if there was any time that I would think Miami could go into KC and rock the house, it would definitely be this year in this environment against that team who's not playing out the standards. And by the way, is a double freaking standard, because at the end of the day, the Eagles are getting demoralized by the national media. Jalen Hurts getting demoralized by the national media, and Patrick Mahomes out there sucking ass, and KC's out there sucking ass, and nobody's talking about him, right? That's okay.
It's not the quarterback. Mahomes. It's not the quarterback, because Mahomes is just everybody just dropping passes on him, and then they're playing at home. So they get a little bit more pedigree. And Mahomes has the pedigree. He's got the Super Bowl ring. So that's why he's not taking this.
Oh, wait. So it's only the drop passes. That's the only reason.
No, but I don't think it's really on Mahomes too much. Like if these guys are catching balls, what?
So what's wrong with Kelsey? I thought Mahomes was great, man. He made receivers, I heard.
Yeah, he does. But there's so many drop passes. So I don't know, man. I think it's a similar. I think the team's just as broken as Philly. I don't think the team can win a championship. I think they could,
that defense can win a championship.
Yeah, their defense is better than their offense right now, but I don't think it's Mahomes, and that's why I don't think. And it's not Andy Reid per se. It's really the wide receiving core. They can't catch the ball. Like it's really tough to win.
That's Andy Reid's fault.
It's whoever drafted. Well, they got Rashee Rice now. They've got to pepper Rashee Rice a lot more, and they got to wake Kelsey up. And I think that's kind of both sides are kind of over talked about because they got to talk about something. So it is what it is. And Buffalo gets the pass because they made a little run at the end, and now they get a matchup against Pittsburgh. But, like, who knows what happens in the playoffs. I'll go Kincaid here. You know, if the wind is the wind, Kincaid should be peppered with targets. Gabe Davis has been non-existent. He's banged up
You're
as
taking
well.
my guy, bro.
Yeah, he already has him.
Oh, you have him? Oh, shit.
Stop looking at my team, man.
You pulled a Dave.
That's a
it was. He did pull. He pulled a bell ringer, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is bad. I guess I got to go with Dalton Schultz, man. That's terrible. I don't like Dalton Schultz, but there's nobody else to grab in that price range. So Cleveland defense, I want to stay far, far, far away. But last time against Cleveland, he actually had a pretty big game. But I'm assuming, you know, there were some injuries out there. But, all right, give me Dalton Schultz. I'm not going to win this week. Yeah, I didn't see the Kincaid. That's a dumb move by me. But maybe Dalton.
That's a lack of respect, Dave. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe Dalton Schultz. You know, now goes for a touchdown and has a big game. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of targeting Cleveland, man. Cleveland, they're the best defense in the league right now, and you know Stroud is Stroud though. Nico had a monster game, so you know maybe they hang in here, but we'll see what happens.
All right, cool. I've been on the bench for 5 or 6 minutes here, so I got to reply to a few things. First, Eagles talk. You're saying you have confidence in Baker. Yeah, we let Drew Lock win the last game against him. We let Kyler Murray play a perfect quarterback game, and Tyrod Taylor with 148. I put Baker Mayfield in all those categories, so I'm not so convinced that Baker won't do as well. We'll see, but I've always said with the Eagles, it's health, and if they come back with a healthier version of their defense from earlier in the season, they'll have a shot. So we'll see. What scares me, Tony, is Todd Bowles likes the blitz.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We saw what Wink Martindale did against us this week.
Yep.
And even with the finger, whatever it is, he's got to find ways to read that blitz. So
you're right.
Other point,
you're right.
And we'll see here. I love the Patrick Mahomes debate. It is not all drop passes. I mean, he's fumbling the ball, he's falling backwards.
Yep.
Like, you're giving him an excuse by just saying it's drop passes. He has not played that well this year. He's good. He's great. He's the best quarterback in the NFL. I'll give him all that. But I think people are giving, to Tony's point, probably giving him a little bit of a free pass this year because they saw.
Oh yeah, drops. They are.
Yeah, saw a few drops, and it's not Pretty Boy's fault, right? So I don't know. I think he has struggled. I really do. But it's a new.
Wait, real fast. Not to keep going here, but how about this, Dave? How about the immaturity of Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
Right. We're not talking about that, but we're talking about Jalen talking on the sideline. But we're not talking about Pat. Right. We're not talking. Babe, Pat is protected by the NFL, bro. He's the poster child. He can't do any wrong, man. It's as simple as that. I'm so sick of it. I really am.
I agree with some of those context. But, hey, here I go. My last pick. Let me let you know, I got 6,500 left, and I got Puka Nacua. So, in a perfect world, I might think about going Matt Stafford. As you can see, Tony, I'm 6,500. But I'm going Jersey Joe, baby.
Jersey Joe.
Like Jay Cole.
AJ.
6,100. So, let's talk about this a little bit. I'm going to pull it down, stop sharing. What are you guys most excited for this weekend?
Most excited for betting some props for sure. I got a ton of props already out there. I will go over what I got real quick. I went and got some early lines. I got Stafford before his number jumped tremendously. I got him at 260, got that early. I believe Tony mentioned Brandon Cooks. I got him at 36.5 receiving yards. Like that a bunch. Once I saw the weather in KC, I hopped on Pacheco over 60.5. I also got Justin Watson early at 21.5. It's going to be cold. I think he's kind of like the de facto number 2 wide receiver that Mahomes kind of trusts there. Also got Amari Cooper over 74.5. He's ready to go. He said he's good to go this game. Kind of rested for this game. Big game for him. We know what he did last game against them. And then, 2 bets that I'm a little bit worried about here. Pickens over 40.5 with the weather, and Stephon Diggs over 61.5. I'll be betting those. I'll be adding some more as well. I'm excited about this best ball. I've been drafting best balls all day on DraftKings. Like I said, hit me up in Discord if you want some advice on how I'm building, and you're really pushing all the chips in and trying to make it, to the finals and taking down the big prize. Because all these tournaments, you got to think that way. You got to think you're going for the top because they're so top heavy, and you can't just be trying to, get your money back. If you're just trying to get your money back, you might as well not play. So I'm excited about best ball, excited about, betting props throughout. And, there's not much left of the season. And the other thing I'm excited for, looking forward to, I told you guys earlier, I'm not going to the game, but I'll be in Vegas for the event. So I'll be heading out there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, doing some stuff. It's going to be excited. So I'll be taking pictures, videos, hopefully getting some interviews of some players, doing some mini media or radio row shit. So it should be fun out there. Should be a great time. And, I'm excited about doing that. My birthday's coming up. It's my friend's birthday. He's turning 40. So bringing him out there with me too. And who knows, maybe if I pull a lucky slot or have some crazy wins, maybe I'll buy some Super Bowl tickets and go to the game. But I honestly rather be at the sports book. I think it'll be more fun being at the sports book in Vegas. Like in other spots, like if you're in Arizona, do you really want to be at a bar, or I'd rather be at home in New York? I'd rather be home in New York. But like Vegas, home in New York, I'll take Vegas. Like there's no other place like Vegas. Tony, never been there. You got to go. I've been there way too many times.
I'm gonna go. But it's gonna be with my wife. So
it's the craziest.
I had a great time. Yeah,
I've been there multiple times with my wife. I went to two Pacquiao fights with my wife. I've been there partying with my wife. It's a great place. I wouldn't just, my advice to you, if you're gonna go with your wife, I would suggest bring other couples because the nightlife is what you want to be part of. So if you're just like watching everybody else party and you and your wife are going to sleep like at 11 o'clock, like you're not really experiencing Vegas for what it should be. So if you go, bring out a couple other couples, a couple of your boys, a couple of her girls, whatever, and do it that way. But I'm excited about that. Should be it's the first time I've been in New Orleans leading up to the Super Bowl, but I left like 2 or 3 days before the Super Bowl. My birthday's always around there. So my 30th, I went down there. I was close to it. But this we're really going to be there, and I'm expecting in Vegas like this. It's going to be flooded with athletes, celebrities, at these tables. So it's going to be. I'm going to be texting you guys some funny ass pictures.
Yeah.
Throughout the weekend, I'll throw them in Discord. If anybody's going to Vegas, hit me up. I'll be out there. Shoot a message in Discord or on Twitter, email, whatever. It's going to be a shit show. It's going to be a fun time. So I'm excited. And Dave. I know Tony's out, but if you want to swing on by, man, we'll have a good time for sure.
I'll tell you what, it's so tempting, but it's so close. I got to figure out some logistics, but plus the Eagles might be there, right? So I got to think about
you just tell your wife you got to support your team. We'll figure it out. But yeah, if you want to come through, man, it's gonna be a fun time. Fun time.
Love it. So I'm looking forward to betting this weekend. Coming off a 9-1 streak the last 2 weeks, finished the season 62%, 49-29, 63%. Finish out the bowls with Michigan if you were following Daily Sports, 19-11 in bowl game, 63%. So really feeling.
I wish I bet more money on Michigan, man. Like that was too easy. Like
I had it up there.
I was like, I bet it. I bet him first half, and I bet him for the game. But like everybody was giving me like, yeah, Michigan should. I didn't get like so much like, oh, Michigan's gonna just like roll them over, which they did. As soon as like the first quarter went through, I'm like, I texted a couple of them. I had that way too little on this game. Like it was pretty much a lock from start.
Yeah, and the only point here is Win Daily. We have memberships, we have subscribers, and you get this kind of inside info being a subscriber, obviously. So you can pay back your membership very quickly if you just play it smartly on some of the stuff that we're feeding you, not just in the betting market. What I do with Tony's, parlays with his props and Jason's ladders, you're going to get there. You are going to get your money back. So I'm excited to get out and do a playoff run this year. See, we're 13 games, the magical 13. Not aiming for that, but can we get to 9-4, 8-5?
Hey, let me ask you without the spreads, who wins these games? Take the spreads out for a second. Cleveland, Houston, who wins?
And it's funny, and I will answer that real fast. But last week I said the Bears, and I changed my pick to the Packers by game day because of some information that came through. I saw Fields, kind of make fun of Green Bay people. So anyway, I'm saying this now, but read the article because these things could change. I think Houston has a real fighting chance, but in the end, I just think they're a little deficient at some of the pieces on offense. I think Cleveland pulls this one out.
Miami, KC?
I will take KC. I'm with Tony, though. It's sneaky close. This spread tells me Miami. I mean, it's
Buffalo,
under 3.
Buffalo moves on against Pittsburgh easy. I'm not saying you're betting. I just want to know.
Not easy, but Buffalo.
Okay. Dallas, Green Bay, who wins it?
Dallas.
Detroit, LA, who wins?
Man, I've seen so many people say the Rams, and I'm going to say it too. They've won 7 of the last 8. The one they lost was Baltimore, and it was in overtime. So the Rams are playing some sneaky, good football, and it's a terrible matchup for Detroit. Think about it. They haven't been in the playoffs, at home in forever, and now they got Stafford there. Oh, it's just such a bad matchup.
And McVay, he's like licking his lips to play Campbell too. Like he's so excited to go on a road in Detroit. And then the big one for you guys, man. Bucks, Philly.
All right.
Philly win.
So what you said a little bit does make sense. Here's the thing. It's Jason Kelsey's probably last game. I think he's going to be the coach of this game. I think he's going to rally the team. I think he's going to, sit down. He already started to talk about it today. He's the most real of all of them. He said, we suck. This sucks. We need to look in the mirror. Instead, Sirianni's telling you, you can't forget about the first part of the season. Yeah, you can when you lost 5 of 6, you idiot. It's what you're playing now going to the playoffs. So I think for one night, one shining moment, Jason Kelsey will rally this team, and they'll rally around him. I'll take the Eagles in a close one. And I think it's the worst scenario for him because then we go to Dallas or San Fran and just get whitewashed. But I'll take Philly.
All right. Tony, you assuming Philly wins too? You're backing your boys?
No.
They're going to lose in Tampa against Baker.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That was close.
Really?
I picked the Giants last week, so I'm
listen.
I thought the Giants. I think the Giants are better than Tampa. Like Tyrod is better than Baker.
Here's the thing,
Their
man.
defense is better than Tampa's defense.
You could talk all day about whatever you want, numbers, analytics, this, that. I don't really care. All I know is this team. They're nobody on the same page. They're completely broken. They're completely lost. The coaching staff is completely lost. This team is hurting. Nobody looks like they give a shit. So they're out, man. I don't care what anybody. They're assed out. I'm telling you that right now.
They are
out, and nothing good's going to come out of this game, in my opinion. Nothing.
But would it be worse for them to win?
It's Baker Mayfield. That's what you got to bank on as an Eagles fan. You're going against Baker. He's bruised up too. He looked like shit against, if you can't score a touchdown versus Carolina, it's bad, man. That defense is bad. So I don't know. I think Philly, they win this game. I think they get some momentum back. But Dave, you got it right. They're whatever they do next is
it's worse. If I go to Dallas and lose by 40, I feel like I would have rather lost in Tampa. I think this is the one that could happen this way. Yeah.
Wait, so if you guys win and the Rams win, you go to Dallas.
Yeah.
And if the Lions win and you guys win, you go to San Fran.
Yep.
I would still be more scared of San Fran than Dallas, but I know for your purposes, you could stomach losing to San Fran. You can't stomach losing to Dallas. And I get it. So the easiest out for you guys is just to say, let me lose to Baker and just blow this whole thing up. So I get it, but I think the Eagles win that game. I think KC wins. I think Cleveland wins. I think Dallas always chokes. I wouldn't be shocked if Green Bay figures a way to win. Everybody's expecting Buffalo to win, and they probably do, but Pittsburgh might be able to hang. So we'll see what happens, man. Tell them, what's your biggest upset or biggest bold statement that you got going into playoffs, man? Is it do the 1 seeds hold out? Do you have a shocker in Cleveland or some oddball team like the Rams make it? What's your jigsaw take to the playoffs?
Well, it's funny because you mentioned the Rams, and I'm a McVay guy. I've always been a McVay guy, and I've just watched him, and he's so much confidence, man. He got so much swag. It's like Shanahan, man. Those two dudes, they just walk the walk, man. They really do, and that's what I love about them. They are not afraid. Like you got Sirianni up there jumping up like some bozo. He can't walk the walk, right? You got these two guys. So for me, I'm not gonna say upset. Like I just told you, I feel like I think the Eagles are gonna get the doors blown off. I do. I think they're going to go in. I think I could see them going down and scoring, and everybody in Philly going, "We're back. we're back. And then next thing you know, boom, they lose like 31-10. I'm just saying, like, the team is completely lost and dysfunctional right now. So, but I'll say,
I'll tell you this.
I like the Rams a lot, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
to
this.
make a lot of noise.
I'll tell you this. If Baker puts up 31 against your Eagles, I'll buy you a signed Baker jersey that you can put behind you in your basement right now.
No, dude, I don't want a signed jersey. I want one to wear. I'm gonna wear one for every show, bro. Baker Mayfield. I actually no, better all buy me the robe he wears in the commercials, and I'll wear that.
The Baker commercials, yeah. No, and one thing to your McVay thing, man. Do you remember? I'm almost positive it was this year, but like there was talks that McVay wanted out of LA. He wanted to quit on them before the season started, and he turned that shit around. So like, I don't know, man. They never would have got here without him as their coach. But it's shocking that he stuck with it, and he's still one of the best coaches. Like you're starting to see, like if there's a young coach that can be the next Belichick, maybe not win as many championships, but McVay's that dude that you can see him be coaching in the NFL for like another 20, 30 years. He's got the talent for sure.
What I really like about these playoffs is the coaches that we're going to be able to see, right? Like we already know, like don't even look at Todd Bowles and Sirianni, like, but McVay, and then you go over to McDaniel, who's a little crazy, right? But and quirky. You got Stefanski, who should be, for my money, coach of the year. D'Amico Ryans, which is another up and coming guy. Then you got the elder statesman in obviously Big Red and Mike McCarthy, and then you got the knucklehead out there in Dan Campbell. So I think you have a lot, and Matt LaFleur. Obviously, I forgot about Matt LaFleur, but I think you have a lot of uniqueness within this playoffs this weekend. And I think that's going to be fun. But I'll tell you what, the one thing I'm looking forward to the most this weekend is just being done with the Eagles talk. I'll be honest, I'm emotionally drained. I really don't care at this point. Like, this is what happened to me last couple years with the Sixers. Like I invested so much into them, and then when they just get blown out in Game 6 and Game 7, the players don't give a shit. Like that's what happens to me, and I'm drained, man. Like I'm drained with this team. I feel like so I'm looking forward to, honestly, I hate to say this, that if they do lose, which I think they're going to, just to be able to watch the playoffs as an NFL fan and not an Eagles fan, because I have no faith in them whatsoever right now.
That's really interesting. One other point I was going to make, and you're talking about your Rams thing before we get out of here, the gap in the coaching between him and Dan Campbell can really be a big factor. Dan Campbell's going to do something, right? Something stupid. It's just going to happen.
And then you have the combination of Goff and Campbell. It's like, we got like a headstrong quarterback. You have like a quarterback who likes throwing picks, and then a coach who is on tilt half the game and wants to punch him in the face. Like, it's bad, man. But I like Campbell. I think he's a good coach. He turned it around there, but like he could have been sitting where Dallas is sitting right now, like no sweat. Potential. Been. Not that Green Bay is no sweat, but they could be sitting on the other side of the bracket right now if he just went to OT, won that game, and then won in the final week as well. So, pretty stupid.
Gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun, man. It's definitely gonna be fun. But listen, man, you never know what's going to happen. It's unpredictable. It's always unpredictable. That's why they call it the playoffs, right? It's like any given Sunday. We talk about it all the time. I just, we had an HRS live show last night, and I played the Pacino soundbite, the speech before the game. Like, it just gets you fired up. And that's what these players are going in for this year, man. Every single one of them. And there's so many storylines that we talked about. It's going to be a nice weekend of football. It really is. It's going to be a nice weekend of football. And unfortunately, I get to watch the funeral that's going to happen on Monday night. But, that being said, what I will say, I want to say one thing before we get out of here. And this is just, completely off the topic of these games. But, Dave said about, he's looking forward to betting. And you heard Jason talk about, the models and the ladders that he's doing. And, he gave you some picks. And Dave said about, hey, listen, that's what we do over here in the community. What I will tell you is, and I'm going to be 100% honest, what you have to look at eventually is, we have a tremendous partner program within the Win Daily community that offers you so many different ways to get deals throughout these sports books. But here's the thing. Yeah, you do see them on any other webs. You see them on ESPN. You see them on a commercial. You see them everywhere, right? But the difference is we explain to you how to actually use them. We explain to you how you can continue to get the deals through these sports books that they're giving you once you sign up, right? The no sweats, the bonus bets, I'm telling you right now, and I'm sorry you to call it what it is, but most of the people that are actually telling you to sign up have no idea what it even is. Okay, so the best part about coming on with us is not only do you get it, but we explain to you the process. We take the time to explain to you how it works. How many times, Jason, how many times, Dave, have you gotten messages from members that say, yo, man, thanks so much, man. Like, I had no idea how that worked. I mean, am I wrong, fellas? Doesn't that happen all the time?
All the time. I mean, just Monday, talking about the national championship game, people, getting in detail, asking questions. We came in and we knocked out the value plays by just asking. Yeah, they come in all the time.
And I don't say this as like this overbearing salesman. I say this as there's a lot of scams in the world, right? And I'm not saying everything's a scam, but what I'm saying is just be very careful. Okay, just be very careful. We honestly are backing up what we say. And that, like, Rat Pack, congratulations, gets a win. Rat Pack DMs me every single day, man, in Discord. Yo, what's the part? Yo, you taught me how to do these parlays, man, how to back off numbers, and I would have never thought of that. And, like, again, that's what we do. And, again, so if you want to win and you want to have some fun and you want to be part of a family and actually understand what you're doing, that's why you join WinDailySports.com. So, for Jason, for Dave, listen, man, everybody grab the glass of your favorite, finest wine, champagne, beer, whatever you want this weekend. Cheer it up. We're cheering to you. And let's have some fun. Let's have some money. WinDailySports.com is where you find us. Everybody stay safe and stay healthy.